So we've made our first thread, really pleased with that. Hope you can see how easy it is to cut threads. Please carry on watching on the next section, and we're going to do some extra tips and tricks on how to use it. So the next thing people like to know is actually matching the grain up, which can be seem to be quite difficult, but actually it's fairly easy. You just need a little bit of patience. So if we thread that on, the grain should match up here, but actually it moves round to here. So this part needs to go round to there, okay, which is about a third. In order to do that, you need to mount the female section up, and we need to just take some off the surface so it moves round a bit more each time you take some off the surface. The trouble is, if you take it off this surface, then the gap gets bigger, and if this thread's very small, it can actually fall through, okay, the threads. So you have to take it off this part. Now, I just like to use my detail tool, but you can use a skew on the side, something like that. And very, very gently, we're just going to take a small amount off that face. What I like to do is just put a small chamfer back on the inside edge, and we'll just see where that's gone to. So before it was around about here, but now we're actually getting closer. I'll just put a pencil line on there just so you can see how much it moves each time you take that small amount off. So I say you need patience because it's best just to do just a small bit at a time until you actually get it round to where the grain is lined up. So there is where we had it before with the pencil line. That's where we have it now. So that small amount, you can see how much generally it sort of advances by taking that small amount off. So we probably need sort of similar amount again, if not just a little bit more. So that we were there, now we're there. You can see we're getting much closer. Okay, very close now. I would say this should be the last one. Now, generally, we're very, very close. Now, I would personally leave it there because tomorrow, when the wood has cooled down, because we've been working on it, I would say we're going to be pretty much there. But just for the purpose of the video, we'll just take one more swipe off the surface. And there we have it, the grain perfectly aligned, but I always stop before that because, as I say, probably tomorrow when the wood's cooled down, that might actually be beyond that point. And that's how we match the grain up. So the first trick was to match the grain up. We'll show you how to do that. Another tip is to use the wax. We've talked about that. In general operation, I generally sort of say that you should support the wood. That's very important. When you're actually advancing this forwards, you can maybe get some fishtail. Everything's really accurately made, so it's not through the jig, it's just natural movement of fishtailing. But if you support with your hand as you're advancing forwards, you can maintain a nice steady cut and you'll get a much better cut on the threads. The other tip I want to talk about, under here is a nylon spacer, and that keeps some pressure on the spindle and stops any movement. Now you'll notice just a small movement here. It just wears down with time, and it just needs tightening up. So every couple of months, something like that, depending on how much you use it. It's very easy to do. We just need to release that nut, maybe just go quarter of a turn, retighten the nut, and you can see that's taken out and put a little bit of resistance on that. So everything just tightens down and makes it more accurate for cutting the threads. So please carry on watching further videos that we have on actually making projects. We're going to make some more difficult threading items, but I hope you've enjoyed watching this video on the introduction of the Hope EASY Threading Jig. Thanks for watching.